This is a multiple regression question, and here is the Excel output with some parts deleted, so you have to figure it out. And it says determine the overall significance of the predictor variables on selling price. And the overall significance is given by the F distribution for the multiple regression, okay? So it's using the MS here and the F and so on and so on. Okay, so let's try this. So first you have to know that the formula for MS is sum of squares divided by the degrees of freedom. So using this, you can fill in this empty spot here, which is, let's see, you divide 258,354.161, which is the sum of squares, and you divide the sum of squares by its degrees of freedom, so you divide by 4, and you get 64588.54. So that's what you want to put in here, 64588, 64588.45 or 54. Okay, and let's do the same thing for the next one. It's 1171.559 divided by 45, and it's 26.035. And once you have the MS, the next thing that you have to do is to calculate the F statistics, and this is the ratio of the two MS. I guess the top one is the MS of the regression, and the bottom will be the MS of the residual. But you don't have to remember this formula, just remember it as this over this, okay? That's easier to remember from this table, okay? So that means we have, let's see, we have 64588.54 divided by 26.035, and you get 2480.86. 2480.86. So that's what we got, 2480.86. Now here comes the actual calculation. So by the overall significance, it's asking for the p-value. So that's what this question is really asking you to do. And because the F distribution function in TI-84 gives you the area from 0 to some of the given value here, and the p-value is the right tail, you actually have to subtract from 1 to get the right tail. So that's what we have to do. We have to say the p-value is equal to 1 minus the F distribution, FCDF, of 0 until this 2480.86. And F distribution is actually a distribution of ratio of two sum of squares, and or actually two chi-squared distribution. And when you do that, because you have the numerator and the denominator both sum of squares, you actually need to provide the degrees of freedom as well. So here's the degrees of freedom, 4 and 45. So you put 4, 45 into the, sorry, I just realized that this formula wasn't showing on the screen. Sorry, so the P is equal to 1 minus FCDF of 0 to 2480.86. 4, comma 45. These are the degrees of freedom that you put here. Okay, so let's put that into the calculator. It's 1 minus FCDF, so second vars. FCDF is you're going to use the CDF, and the lower you don't touch anything, and you put 2,480.86, and then the degrees of freedom are 4 and 45, so you put that in there, punch it in, and you get 0. And you know what, that's because this value is so huge, you end up with 0. Okay, but you still need to have this calculation, as well as you actually need to show the graph to explain why you need this 1 minus. So the graph of the F distribution looks somewhat like this, and it's from 0 until this this value here, 2,480.86. So make sure that your answer sheet has this here, and p-value is right here, this shaded area, and that's why you have to subtract from 1. Okay. Now B, determine the influential predictor variables at 0.05 level. Justify. Well, you have the p-values, and all these coefficients, they come with some p-value, and you can see that this variable 3, p-value is so high that it's not significant. Neither is this 0.242. Only these two seem to be significant, and they're both below 0.05, so both of them are influential. So the answer would be x1 and x2. But you should also write down what these are. These are the list price and living space. So x1 list price, x2 living space. So that's what you have to specify. Okay, now predict the selling price of a house with list price of this. So for this, you actually need to first have the regression equation. So let's write down the regression equation. And list price, living space. This enclosed garage, whether you have it or not, is actually encoded as a dummy variable, 1 and 2. Okay. Usually people use 0 and 1, but 1 and 2 is fine as well. Okay. So let's say we have 1 and 2, and it says if it has garage, it's 1. If it doesn't, then you put 2. And it does not have, so we see that x4 should be 2. So let's write x4 equals to 2, no garage. And let's put other ones. X1 is what is it? 155000, and we have to be careful because sometimes they ask to be listed in, so this is in thousands of dollars. So actually it should be 155000, but it's 155K dollars. So that's what X1 is. Be careful you don't make that mistake. And then X2 would be 17.50 because it's 100 square feet. So living space is 100 square feet, so you have to divide this 1750 by 100. So we know that it's 17.5 times 100 square feet. And then X3 equals to 0.75 acres. So those are the values that we're going to plug it in. Acres, okay. So that's these are the values that we have to plug in. However, if we don't have the regression equation, we don't know where to plug in, so we have to write down the regression equation. So let's do that. Regression equation is b0 plus b1 x1 b2 x2 x1 x2 x3. These are the values that we just got. Those are the predictor variables, and because we have 4 of them, we have to put b3 x3 plus b4 x4, and furthermore we have to use the values of b0 through b4 from the above chart. So 14.046 is b0, so that's going to replace this one. 0.952 is b1. Sorry for going back and forth. You know what? Maybe I should just cut this one and put it right below here, so we can compare. Okay, so here negative 0.463. So we put this one, but it's minus, so it should be subtracted. 0.029. Then minus 2.186. So that's our regression equation from the table. Okay, so let's actually do the calculation using them. So we just plug those values in, and that's all it's really asking us to do. Just plug in these values into x1. So for x1, we put 155. x2, we put 17.5. x3, we put 0.75. x4, we put 2. Okay, now let's put that into the calculator. We have 14.046 plus 0.952 times 155 minus 0.463 times 17.5 plus 0.029 times 0.75 minus 2.186 times 2, enter, 149.15 equals to 149.15, and that's it. So that's I guess it didn't really say what the units are, but I guess this should be kilo, $149,000 or something. But since the question didn't give us the units, we should just leave it as it is.